and welcome back to Kev's Taste of Enchantment, where we like to do Southwestern style food and Southwestern style inspired recipes. Today we're going to do a little something different. So after a long hard day's work, you want to come home, you want to have a cold one, and you want to make something a little simple for the family. What we're going to do is we're going to make the Godfather sub, the spicy Godfather. All right, so what we've got for ingredients here, we've got a loaf of French bread, we've got some Genoa salami, we've got some sandwich style pepperoni, we've got some prosciutto, some provolone cheese, some green chili, a little bit of mayo, some lettuce, a beef eater tomato, and some balsamic vinaigrette. So let's get ready to put this bad boy together. Alrighty, so I did a little prep work. I shredded up some lettuce here. I sliced up our beef eater tomato here. I sliced our French bread in half, so let's get ready to build this guy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some mayo, and you can use as much mayo as you particularly want. I'm just gonna put a thin layer of mayo on the French bread here. Well, I guess I would call it a thin layer of mayo. That's because I love mayo. I love my condiments. But we're gonna spread this out just like so. I know most people like to use butter knives, and I usually do too, but for what I'm doing with the French bread sandwich here, it's just a little bit easier to use it with a spoon. And we're going to do both slices. Now, one thing that's nice about this sandwich is, like I said, it's an easy, quick meal that you can make after a long, hard day's worth of work, but it also works great for Super Bowl parties, because when you use the French bread like this, you could slice up thin slices as appetizers for people, or just little finger food type snacks. And you will see the finished result. It is absolutely delicious. I went out to New York, spent some time visiting a friend on Staten Island. Pardon me, not Staten Island, Long Island. My bad. And she took me out to a place where they had the Godfather sub. And I liked it so much that I decided I had to come home and I had to make it, and I had to tweak it to my own specifications. So we've got our mayo on here. What we're going to do, we're going to take our balsamic vinaigrette, and we're just going to drizzle that all over the bread, just like so. That's going to give it a nice twang with all the flavors that you have from the meats and the cheese. So we've got our balsamic vinaigrette sprinkled on there. Now I'm going to take my prosciutto. Now normally I use prosciutto and capicola. Unfortunately, I was not able to get any capicola today. So we're going to take our prosciutto. By the way, capicola is a spicy Italian ham, along with the green chili. That's why I call it the spicy Godfather. But we're going to take our prosciutto, we're going to spread that out first. It's a very thin cut of meat. So is the capicola. The capicola has nice marbling in it, as well as the prosciutto. It's very tasty. And we're just going to take all of this meat and spread it out over the bread like so. Alrighty, so we've got all our prosciutto laid out. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pepperoni and we're just gonna layer it like so. We're gonna do the same thing with the Genoa salami. I bought a half a pound of each. I will not use the whole half pound, but I will use the rest of it to make sandwiches for the week when I go to work. Just like so. Alrighty, now we're gonna add our Genoa salami. Me personally, just because I'm like this, I go the opposite way of what I went with the last stuff, which would be the pepperoni. By the way, one thing that I forgot to mention to you guys, so you want to get your baking sheet, cookie tray, whatever you want to call it. I put some parchment paper down there because not only does the parchment paper help to save your cookie sheet, but you can bake with it, and it makes it easy to transfer stuff over to a cutting board in the end. Now what we want to do is we want to take our provolone cheese, and we're going to layer our provolone cheese. I am a big cheese fan. I like my cheese.
Same here.
We're going to layer our cheese like so. And then what we're going to do to make it the spicy Italian is we're going to throw some green chili on here.
Yes, we love green chili.
Now I love my green chili. Like I said, I could get my green chili here in Colorado. You could get it in New Mexico as well. Obviously, chili capital of the world. But if you can't get green chili where you live, and they don't have it in the stores, because most grocery stores do have canned green chili, which is not bad. Fresh green chili is always better. But if you cannot get either canned green chili or you want fresh green chili, like I mentioned in my previous videos, you could always go to chilimonster.com and you can order yourself up some green chili. They will ship it to you. It's already pre-diced. You can also buy whole ones. You could buy whole red chili pods, which is what I used in my salsa video to make my red chili, which is what you also use, and I will be using it in a couple upcoming videos when I make pozole, Daniel's favorite.
Yes.
And when I also make New Mexico, authentic New Mexico style enchiladas. We've got our sandwich all prepped here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it into the oven underneath the broiler, just long enough to toast it up and let that cheese melt.
You preheated it?
I preheated the oven, or the, pardon me. So we'll throw it in there for a few minutes, and we'll break it out, and we'll finish assembling it, and we'll see what we have as the final result. Alrighty, so I just pulled it out of the broiler, and as you can see, the cheese is nice and melted. The bread is toasty. The Genoa salami and all the pepperoni and everything under that has sweated a little bit, which gives it that good flavor. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this parchment paper, which is why I like to use the parchment paper, because you can pull it off. I'll set my baking tray over here. I'll put my parchment paper over here on the cutting board. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shredded lettuce, and I'm just going to distribute my shredded lettuce over here on the sandwich. Now I'm only going to do 3/4 of the sandwich because Daniel does not like lettuce and tomato on his sandwich. So I'm going to leave the end for him so he does not have to participate with the lettuce and tomato. We've got our little tomato keeper here, and we will put our nice healthy beefeater tomatoes on here, just like so. Alrighty, so we're going to slice off Daniel's side. serve that bad boy up. And as you can see, you've got all that nice, good meat in there. With some cheese. I'm going to slice off another side over here to serve my wife up. And as you can see, we've got our nice juicy meat, melted cheese with our veggies on there. And now we will see what Daniel thinks of the spicy Godfather.
Okay. This is actually really good.
So what are you going to give it a rating for?
It tastes like what's that thing where it starts with a P, I think.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, buddy.
Okay, well I give it a 7.5.
Okie doke. Thank you, Daniel.